Creativity's overflowing. It sometimes works hard without you knowing. So here's some memories that probably never happened.
Definitely loving it. Definitely loving it. This is a few years ago now. But I was contacted, I was phoned up and invited to be the plus one, somebody for an organ recital. Somebody looking to take me to an organ recital, to which they had been invited. So it's a fundraiser kind of thing, to raise awareness about the dangers of organ failure. Organs for Organs. It was something called something like that. Organs for Organs. It's pretty clever, really. I hadn't had a big lunch, so I asked him. Sorry, probably wondering who it was. It was our good friend Morrissey. Been invited to Organs for Organs, and wanted me as his plus one. I thought, yeah, absolutely fine. I hadn't had a big lunch, so I asked him whether this event would be catered. Wanted to know whether it would be catered, and he said, probably nibbles, but not a sit-down meal. So I thought, right, absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever. Popped a couple of hard-boiled eggs and some kitchen roll and slipped them into my jacket pocket, and off I went. So we'd agreed to get the train up. I'd knock for him on the way to the train station. So I gave him a knock, and he answered the door. Hello, Notme. I really appreciate you doing this for me. Appreciate you doing this for me. I wonder if your alarms are going off as my alarms do. I thought he's just invited me to a sweet organ recital where I'm going to get some nibbles and organ music like in an old fairground. Like, I'm not doing him any favours here. This is going to be a great event. Something's wrong. I can sense it. And I'm thinking, what's he so nervous about? Yeah? What's he so nervous about? He's sweating. His hair is approximately half its normal height. Something's wrong. Is he afraid of organs or something? So I ask him straight up. I'm like, yo, dude, why so jittery? Yeah. And this is before the Dark Knight. So turns out, and this is the first of many twists in this story, the fundraiser was being put on by an ex of Morrissey's, and he was hoping to pass me off as his new boyfriend. I was like, okay, well, what's this going to entail? Just holding hands with me, and maybe a peck on the cheek. I thought, do you know what? That's not too much of an imposition. I've absolutely no issue with it. But I thought, let's not waste this opportunity. I could get something out of it myself. Yeah. So I said, sure. As long as we stopped off on the way home for a McFlurry, I would do it. I'll do it for a McFlurry. And he said yes. So I was very happy with that. That had all worked out. Master negotiator. Does it make me a bad friend for exploiting him like that? Yeah, maybe. But a McFlurry is like £3. And he's still got all of that Smith's money. So maybe you can just chill for a second. What McFlurry do you want, though? I'm ethically objected to Snickers. Ethically objected. Interesting. He's ethically objected to a lot of things. I don't ask anymore. So I moved on, and I acted upset. So, sure, I won't get Snickers. But the truth is, I was gunning for a Maltesers anyway, so it's absolutely fine. Oh, it's awful, isn't it? But sometimes it's nice to be a bit naughty. Sometimes it's nice to be naughty, and it's all in good fun. Anyway, we get onto the high street, and we see something that I'm always pleased to see, a person walking a ferret. Okay, the young woman, maybe 30, had a look of Mindy Kaling about her, but like old Mindy Kaling before all the... And the ferret was black and white, like it was dressed up to go to a costume party as a sheepdog. Honestly, it was a lovely sight. Now, I'm an animal guy, you know this, and so is Morrissey. Morrissey loves animals, adores them. So I thought he'd be as thrilled as me. Morrissey, look, ferret. And you know what? His face dropped. Ferrets deserve to be free as the Manchester breeze. I thought, right, okay, well, here's one of the odd quirks of being friends with a very creative person like Morrissey. And I'm sure cameraman George will attest to this because he's friends with me and I'm at least as creative as Morrissey. Sometimes we come out with odd phrases, okay? Nobody's perfect all the time. It's rare that great ideas and thoughts will come out perfectly formed first time, yeah? Often need a little bit of workshopping. So I just thought, oh, right, he's writing a song and it'll get refined and improved. And then one day I'll be sitting in a Dwayne Reed, say, waiting to have a prescription processed. It'll come on the radio and I'll think, gosh, I was there at that song's inception. And do you know what? I'm really glad it still retained the focus on ferrets. But no. Morrissey, like a madman, I will add, lunges at this poor woman and her weasel, tries to rip the ferret off the leash. Fear not, my furry friend, you shall be unleashed. Lots of grappling, lots of kerfuffle, is debasing himself, I believe, losing a lot of respect in this woman's eyes, probably the ferret's eyes as well, because of course, while his intentions were good, he was trying to free a poor defenseless animal from the yoke of oppression, this ferret actually pretty keen to stay leashed. So what happened was the ferret kind of turned on him. Didn't like what Morrissey was doing, lots of grappling, he was on his hands and knees scrabbling around. It was a dirty high street. Butt ends and, chewing gum on the floor. Ferret goes after him. And it was kind of like a cartoon where if Morrissey had been Punch and he was on the floor and there was a ferret running around his head, it was fast, yeah, and just scratching, biting, and he's, oh my goodness, this ferret has gone mental. Crazy, right? Luckily, I remembered, don't ask me where from, I remembered that a little treat for a ferret, don't give them all this all the time, but a little treat for a ferret, yeah, it's a boiled egg. Took the boiled egg out of my pocket and I threw it on the pavement. The ferret sees it, the ferret gets off Morrissey. Nom, 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 nom. I grabbed Morrissey, apologised to Mindy Kaling. It wasn't Mindy Kaling, but she kind of looked like Mindy Kaling. And we just ran. Long story short, I'll skip to the end. 3 weeks later, it was a lovely recital. Organs were really going crazy. 3 weeks later, I'm visiting Morrissey in hospital. The wound, one of the wounds from the ferret's bite, got infected. Sepsis. Quite serious, because Morrissey doesn't really trust a lot of doctors. You remember what the event was about, organs for organs, organ failure. His organs had started failing. So he needed to get to the hospital very quickly. They managed to patch him up, but my goodness, he went through some suffering to try and save that ferret. And I sat down with him and I said, Morrissey, how are you doing? And he said, I blame that owner. Indians shouldn't own pets. And I thought, Morrissey, let's keep that to ourselves, shall we? Because, of course, if you are feeling sorry for Morrissey in this instance, that's a nice, handy reminder that at times he can be terrifically racist. Okay? Terrifically racist. I don't like it, but we're old friends, and sometimes, I like to feel myself as a moderating influence. So he's having a go at the young Mindy Kaling lady saying that Indians shouldn't own pets. I'm like, Morrissey, be quiet, okay? That's not true. There are many Indians that are fine pet owners. I said, how are you doing, pal? What's going on? And he finished it just with this phrase that I thought was quite poignant. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And there we go. That's the story of Morrissey and the ferret. I believe, however, that didn't happen. That didn't happen because I know for a fact he doesn't like organ music because it reminds him of the fairground, and he's not a fairground guy. Let's just say that. He's not a fairground guy. A lot of immigrants working fairgrounds, and he's, it's just best to, yeah. Wow. What a story. It's captured everybody's imagination, and I really enjoy that. Good idea to keep a boiled egg with you in case of ferret encounters. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with that, Nana. Always a couple of boilies. Couple of boilies in the pockets, just in case. Sounds like a complicated friendship with Morrissey. Yeah, thank you, AOL Time Warner official. It is. It is. And there are people who would say, do you know what? You shouldn't be friends with racists. And I completely appreciate that. But like I say, I like to think of myself as a moderating influence on Morrissey. I like to think that me being there, maybe he'll think next time, do you know what? It's fine if an Indian person has a pet.